Hey guys, what is up? Ready for another chess short? These are my reaction videos that people send me a bunch of games, so I'm going to go through them. This one's in the 1000 to 1100, so if you're in the 1000 to 1100 range at Rapid, then listen up, because I'm going to go through this game. I'm going to say what I might be playing in each situation. I'll give my reading of the situation, so there might be something in it to learn. We shall see. So this one's been sent in by Thin White Duke 85, who's a Chess Bootcamp Live member. Duke has the black pieces. This is a 15 plus 10, and Matagear 77, who's 10-29, starts with e4. We have e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6. Okay, so now we could go Scotch, Italian, Spanish. Three knights. Okay, and we have four knights. Excellent. Now, I don't really know my way around this. Okay, well, we've got a situation where knight is looking at this, knight is defending, knight is looking at this, knight is defending. So far, totally symmetrical. Now, I think if we have d4 now, this turns into the four knights Scotch. We have d4. Okay, and takes and knight takes. Okay, now, so the situation is that white is basically up, one turn, because they've got one extra pawn up out in the board. This pawn is defended by the knight, and we've got the possibility of this capture. If pawn recaptures, if d recaptures, then we could trade queens. Black loses castling rights. So what do we do? Okay, we take here and bring the queen out into the board. Okay, and now it looks as though white has a good lead in development, right? However, part of that is that the queen is out in the board. Now, there is no knight here on b8 that can jump to c6 to annoy the queen immediately. We can't play bishop to there because queen can take. We could play c5 with the intention of being committed then to castling short. It's a thought. What would I play here? I don't really know, because I don't know this opening. You don't want to put your bishop here or here, blocking in the queen or blocking the pawn or whatever. I think maybe b6 looks quite interesting. b6, because then that supports the bishop coming here, also supports the light squared bishop going to b7 and fianchetto and looking down the long diagonal. That's probably what I'd go for. Oh, you're gone for c5. Duke throws in the c5. Okay, I mean, it's valid, you know, it comes with tempo. The queen's now got to move. White kind of has the initiative with the extra development, an extra pawn out, so, you know, why not? We're taking a move away from white. Okay, queen e5. It's a check, you know. It's a check. Now, notice that the queen is also looking at this pawn here, right? So, I mean, bishop here would work still, because queen can't take because bishop takes and the bishop's no longer pinned. Queen here also works. If queen takes, bishop recaptures, and we're kind of then actually slightly up in development. So I think either of these moves is fine. There's no other options, to be honest. So bishop goes there, knight comes in. We can capture the knight now. We capture the knight. Oh, queen grabs g7. Interesting. Now, this looks scary, right? But we have bishop here. So this is an interesting kind of counterattack, right? So we take a piece, and it looks as though white is capturing with intent here of taking the rook. Now, I don't know if Dukey saw this, but you do have now bishop f6, and it's defended by the knight and by the queen, attacks the queen, and X-Ray defends the rook through the queen. Queen can't come here because rook takes. So you've got to play that move. Tell me that Duke found that move. Okay, brilliant. Right, and now when the queen moves, lo and behold, we save our knight. Probably going to come here and try and harass c2 with the king rook fork, yeah? Queen runs away. Knight comes to b4. Great. This is a really nice lead already. It's defended here by the pawn, and we're targeting c2. So now, I don't know. I mean, white is already down a knight for a pawn. Everything's actually safe. The queen can't cause any trouble here at all. So it would be tempting for white to want to defend the pawn with this. But if they did that, I'd just swap off the knight. Yeah? However, you know, one problem for black is the king, both sides of the board, king side and queen side, are both peppered with holes. So how are we going to get the king safe? The answer is probably not. We're probably not going to get the king safe. So, well, let's see what white does. White does that. Okay, so a couple of options. One is just eradicate the bishop. Queen e7 is maybe an idea. I think I'd probably just trade off, to be honest. d6 is a thought to release this bishop. I'd probably still just trade. Or this, get the bishop onto the long diagonal. I reckon Duke will trade. No, d6, okay. d6, perfectly good. Right, it's defended by the queen. The queen's now holding a lot of stuff together now. This bishop's ready to come in, but I don't know whether b6 wouldn't have been even better for that bishop. You know? Anyway, we'll see. Bishop in here with check. Oh, we just block with the bishop, surely. We can block with the knight as well, but... Okay, block with the knight. Okay. Also notice this bishop's tied to the defense of that pawn. So as black here, I would kind of be tempted just to develop bishop and queen and maybe castle long then. Yeah, bishop d7. Pawn up here. Okay, so we're defending this, and that now releases this guy. So this guy can now come out into the board, right? So where's he going to come? He's not going to, probably not going to go there. Probably not going to go there, looking at a pawn. He's probably going to come here to this square, looking at this pawn behind. It's the base of the pawn chain. It's also undeveloped. Sorry, unprotected. However, then black's got bishop here, offering to trade off. You know, black doesn't really have to try too hard. What black wants to do right now is, considering black's king is well out in the open, right, with pawn structure like Swiss cheese, what black wants to do now is trade off material as fast as he can, particularly trying to trade queens if at all possible. So, yeah, queen e7, that's the move I said. These two. And now we're getting ready to castle, engage the rooks, get one of the rooks on g8 for sure. White plays this move after all. Now, I think bishop e5 here is fine. Bishop takes, you've got queen takes, you've got knight takes. You might trade off bishops then. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, but we castle instead. Perfectly good as well. There's no major threats. If bishop takes here, you just lose the bishop. Okay, white plays rook e1. That's kind of okay, you know. Okay, so now what do we do as black? I noticed that the bishop's under attack and the queen's the only defender. So this is really kind of tying down the queen. And if this pawn should advance, it's threatening the bishop. And, you know, if it captures, well, I don't know. Pawn advances, pawn takes, bishop takes, bishop, rook takes. That doesn't really work. So I don't think there's a serious threat of this pawn with a rook behind it. However, I would kind of like to resolve the issue of this bishop. I'm thinking maybe something like rook d to g8 now. Or even simply this. Try and trade off. That's probably the way I'd go. Also, a6 is a thought. Just annoy that bishop. Okay, but we have knight. Knight a5, sending the knight off to the outer rim of the galaxy. Okay, but trying to trade off bishops that way. Okay, it's a thought. White plays a4. So here I would definitely be tempted to take, but then the problem is that once the knight moves, because it can't come here, right? So you've got pawn on here, knight can't come here defending this pawn. So maybe now just a6 now. Okay, but now we have an issue. So now we're going to have to play b6 to defend the knight. Yeah, or, I mean, I don't know. What else is there? I don't see. Okay, but this drops the pawn. But then, at the same time, we're attacking this one. But there's no reason to drop that pawn. Well, I don't know. Why not just grab the pawn here? Because the thing is, the rook. If the rook comes here, we just dodge out the way, and if rook takes rook, queen takes, we're okay. So it's not a serious threat. So I'm not sure about king b8. Not sure about that. Rook comes back now, so white has just won a pawn. So Duke, yeah. And we've got 6 minutes, nearly 7 minutes on the clock. We've got an increment. I don't think that was quite necessary, but hey, Okay, this is a move. So blocking the progress of this pawn. And if bishop wants to sack itself, then great. We've got an open board. There are no pawns locked up, which means bishops are happier. Okay, we've got b6 for reasons. Okay, now what do we do? I still think rook here. I'd like to play this move as well, forking the queen and the bishop, which would force a trade. Yeah. Oh, actually, rook here, this takes. We actually win a piece, don't we? Okay, but Duke is still dicking about with the knight. So you come back to have another sniff around this pawn. Yeah, this pawn is not critical to the game, right? What's critical is this. It's the G file, right? We want to do stuff here. So I think this move, these two moves here, is just winning, right? Because then we've got 3 attackers on the G5 square with the rook here, right? Only 2 defenders. And it's a fork. Rook comes across. Okay, now we can grab the pawn. If it means that much to you, Duke, if it means that much, you can grab a pawn. But no, queen e6. Queen e6. Don't get it. Yes, it's defended by a pawn, so we've got ideas of moving this guy somewhere and then a discovered attack on there. But you can't move the bishop with check. That would be the ideal. That would, actually force a trade of queens. Maybe there's a discovery against the rook. Maybe that's the plan. So knight takes this pawn. Discovery on rook. Maybe that's the thing. Okay, b4. Okay, this idea is still on. We can take the pawn with the disco on the rook. Takes pawn, disco on rook. Oh! White's only gone and missed it. You missed it. And what's this about? Anyway, what's the purpose of this move? Yes, we win a rook. Get in, Duke. It's a tactic. It's a tactic. Go for it. Now, everyone's down to 2 minutes. Ooh. Okay. This comes with check. But we are a rook and a pawn up. What do we do? Do we just dodge out the way? Probably. No, we sack the exchange. Okay, but this comes with issues, has to be said. Now, bishop down to d8 would defend the knight, and bishop be defended by that. But I spy with my little eye. No. See, this is the issue with back rank mating, okay? If the queen would land on the back rank on any other square than the same square that the rook can land on, you've got a forced back rank mate. Yeah, so let's see the queen was lined up with this square, don't matter. So queen here or here would be rook can block, takes. queen can block, takes, checkmate. Okay, but as it stands, queen comes here or here, rook just comes back with the tempo on the queen. And I don't see what we can do about that. Now, oh, hang on. What about this? What about rook d8? Yeah, rook d8. Now, if rook takes, bishop takes, then white is left only with the queen and now cannot defend the back rank. So we'd have to create an escape square for the king. I like this move. I think it's a sexy move. Rook takes here and it's game over because queen here or here. And the only legal move then would be queen blocks because the rook now can't get to the back rank. Rook takes this, same deal. You lose. So what does Duke do? Wrong move because this. Okay, now we get a pawn. Well done. Right? Pawn takes pawn. Okay, and now we're this is the idea. Now we're trying to trade off rooks. Rook comes here. Okay, attacking the knight. Probably just knight's going to move, isn't it? Yeah, knight goes here, but generally Duke, knights prefer to be as close to the centre as possible, so I think this may have been preferable. Also, if you think from here instead of there, the knight can then, for example, come here, attack the rook and the pawn, stuff like that. Right here, it's not looking at anything. Pawn attacks now. Now we can't take because this pawn's pinned by the rook. Queen can take though. What's wrong with queen? Queen is take pawn, huh? Queen is take pawn. All right, knight here. Now, if pawn takes, we've got knight takes. Okay. H4, creating an escape square, aka Luft for the king. Also, yeah, well, now the back rank ideas have kind of gone, so we've kind of missed that. That boat has sailed. Okay, we attack at a rook. What the hell? Wait? Blunderama, this is just take rook. Takes rook. And now, white is down a whole rook and two pieces. So, this is complete, and it's practically unwinnable. Okay, and we have check. There's only one legal move. This. Right, now, to finish, for your dessert course, bishop e5 gives check. Probably what I would play. The bishop's under attack and undefended right now, so why not move it? Yeah, check. Blocks with pawn, to be expected. Okay, now we've got knight takes there. You can see the advantage of having a knight towards the middle of the board can actually be useful. I mean, queen takes here is okay. Or knight takes there. The rook's undefended. Currently, all of this material is undefended. So it'd be nice to tie it all together. It would also be nice to stamp on white's head. This is quite good. It also comes with an attack on that. Queen takes, all right. Now, also you've got to be slightly wary about this. I mean, should the knight move, for example, white has mate in one. So actually, would that have just been a complete blunder? If knight takes there, then we've completely taken up... No, because queen also defends. That's good. So here we've got knight and queen defending that pawn. Whew. Didn't happen anyway. I don't know why I'm reacting. Okay, so here also the queen is still on this diagonal. We have maybe rook here, but then we've got possible ideas of that. No, but that's guarded by the bishop. It's not bad. Yeah, rook here, we're actually threatening mate with queen in the corner. That's good. Oh, no, white. No white. Bad white takes, of course, and it's completely all over. Bar the shouting. Okay, and now the queen h1 I think is checkmate now. That's not checkmate. Nor's that. but that is. Okay. I think this would have been mate. Hang on. Yeah, I think that would have been mate here. Because king can't go there because of the bishop. Can't go there or there because of the queen. Or there. Yeah. So, not bad. Interesting stuff, but you can see the kind of... Yes, there were definitely some clear blunders at the end of that. And, we find plenty of blunders in the 1000 to 1100. We find maybe a bit fewer in 1100 to 1200, and they kind of peters off. You get blunders at every level in chess, of course. Maybe, a few kind of dubious positional, and tactical calls. But this is why we're here, we're all here to learn. So all good. And definitely enjoyable. So, Duke, thanks for the game. Thank you for watching as well. Hope you've enjoyed it. And if you're in around this range, around the 1000, 1100, 1200 level, hope you picked up one or two things from my commentary. Hope it's useful for you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.